The air reeked of ozone and burning metal. Sergeant Cole Arvin's vision blurred at the edges, red creeping into his peripheral as he slumped against the cargo container. His left arm hung useless, shredded by plasma fire. His right clutched the rifle that had run dry 3 minutes ago, or was it 30? Time had become elastic in the chaos. Behind him, huddled in the narrow gap between shipping crates, 7 Velhari cubs whimpered. Their fur, normally a pristine silver white, was matted with dust and fear scent. The youngest, Tira, pressed against his back, tiny claws digging through his shredded combat vest. The Korthax raiders advanced slowly, savoring their victory. Their chitinous armor clicked with each deliberate step, mandibles chattering in what passed for laughter among their kind, 12 of them, spread in a semicircle, blocking any escape from the loading bay. Human, the lead Korthax buzzed, its translator rendering the words with digital coldness. Step aside. The young ones fetch good credits. You are worth nothing but the bounty on your tags. Cole spat blood, then grinned with crimson teeth. Funny thing about humans, he rasped. We're real bad at math. Can't seem to calculate when the smart move is to walk away. His legs trembled as he pushed himself upright. Every muscle screamed. The wound in his side, the deep one, the one that had punched through his armor, sent white-hot spikes through his consciousness with each breath. He'd lost too much blood, he knew it. The raiders knew it, but the cubs didn't need to know it. Listen up, kids, Cole said in Velhari, his accent atrocious but understandable. Remember what I taught you. Stay low, stay quiet. When I say run, you are already dead, human, the Korthax interrupted. Your thermal signature dims. You have minutes. Perhaps less. Minutes? Cole laughed, the sound wet and wrong. That's generous. I was thinking seconds. He lurched forward, using the container for support. His empty rifle became a club. It was absurd. 12 Korthax raiders, each with functional plasma rifles and combat-grade exoskeletons, versus one dying human with a metal stick and spite. The Korthax didn't even raise their weapons. They simply watched, mandibles spread in amusement. Cole made it 3 steps before his legs gave out. He crashed to his knees, the rifle clattering away. Behind him, one of the cubs, not Tira, one of the older ones, let out a keening wail. Pathetic, the lead Korthax said. The mighty Terran Defense Force. This is what hunts us across the stars? This bleeding, broken... Cole's hand found his belt. His fingers, numb and clumsy, closed around the last item that still worked. Not a weapon, not for killing. A beacon, military-grade, short-range emergency broadcast. He'd been saving it, hoping to avoid calling for help, knowing that any TDF response would take hours they didn't have. But now, hours didn't matter. Now all that mattered was noise. He activated it. The shrill alarm pierced the bay, echoing off metal walls. The Korthax recoiled, antenna-like sensory organs flattening against their heads. The frequency was wrong for them, painful, like nails on a chalkboard translated to alien neurology. Clever, the lead raider hissed, but pointless. Your people are systems away. We will complete our... Tira moved. The smallest cub, the one who had never spoken, who communicated only through gestures and the soft chirps of the very young, stepped out from behind the crates. Her fur stood on end, making her look twice her actual size, which still barely reached Cole's hip when he'd been standing. She walked past him, past the fallen human who had thrown himself between her family and death, and stopped 3 meters from the lead Korthax. For a long moment, there was only the beacon's wail and the rasp of Cole's breathing. Then Tira spoke. Her voice was small, high-pitched but perfectly clear in both Velhari and Standard. The translator in Cole's damaged helmet caught it, rendered it, and he felt something in his chest. Something beyond the pain and the tearing go still. He fell protecting us, Tira said. He is still trying to protect us. He is human. She bared tiny fangs, her ears flat against her skull. Do you know what humans do when their pack is threatened? Do you know what they taught us? The Korthax shifted. 12 plasma rifles, no longer lowered, began to track toward the cub. They do not calculate survival, Tira continued. Her voice grew stronger with each word, as if she were pulling courage from the dying soldier behind her, from his stupid, irrational refusal to abandon them. They do not weigh odds. They do not consider acceptable losses. She took another step forward. One of the Korthax took a step back. They fight. They endure. They buy time with their blood. And they are never, ever alone. Cole tried to speak, to tell her to run, but his voice wouldn't come. His vision was tunneling now, darkness creeping inward. Tira looked at the attackers, her eyes, large, amber, and filled with something ancient and terrible, reflected the emergency beacon's strobing light. "Our turn now," she said. "Run!" the lead Korthax laughed. It was a mistake. The bay doors exploded inward. Not human reinforcements, they were still too far away, just as the raiders had calculated. But Velhari adults, a dozen of them, moving with the liquid grace of born predators, their diplomatic niceties shed like uncomfortable clothing. They had heard the beacon. They had heard Tira's voice, transmitted on every frequency the emergency broadcast could reach. They had heard a human dying to protect their children. The Korthax tried to fight. Some tried to flee. It made no difference. Velhari and full combat fury were creatures of nightmare, and they had been reminded why the galaxy once feared them, before they'd chosen civilization over conquest. It was over in seconds. Tira ran back to Cole as her people secured the bay. She pressed her small paws against his chest, trying to staunch wounds that were already beyond such simple remedies. "You promised to teach me more standard words," she said, her voice breaking. "You promised." Cole's hand, moving with the last of his strength, found her head. His fingers tangled gently in her fur. "Taught you, the important one," he whispered. His eyes closed, but his chest still rose and fell, slow and steady, as the Velhari medics rushed forward with equipment designed for their own physiology, but adaptable, desperate, determined. They worked with frantic precision while Tira refused to leave his side. "What word?" she asked, tears matting her fur. "What word did you teach me?" One of the adult Velhari, her mother, knelt beside them. She had fought like something from the old times, and her claws were still red. But her touch on Tira's shoulder was infinitely gentle. "Courage, little one," she said softly, watching the humans who were dying to protect them, the ones who never calculated whether it was worth it to care. "He taught you courage." Tira pressed closer to Cole's side as the medics worked. "No," she whispered. "He taught me something else, something more human." She looked up at her mother, her voice fierce with new understanding. "Hope."